This is Mr. Bowden again, and we are continuing with our read aloud, 50 Minerals That Changed the World. I'm beginning now with Chapter 1, Diamonds. And here is a picture of a diamond. It's one of my favorite things about a book is you can see the pictures and then have them in mind as you are reading the words, and I hope that you are able to keep that in mind if you don't have a diamond handy nearby to look at while you are listening. A model for beauty and hardness, the diamond, combined with never-tarnishing gold in an engagement ring, is the stone of choice to symbolize the purity and longevity of love and marriage. The rarity of large diamonds has made them the favorite gemstone of royalty, a noted part of the regalia of many royal houses of East and West. What is East and West? If you remember from social studies classes that there is a place called the Middle East and the Far East. There's Western civilization. Where do they meet? Where do they go? So somewhere, if you look at Europe and Asia put together, somewhere towards Western Asia, you have the place between the Mediterranean and the Jordan River, and that's about where East and West meet. And right now, there is an ongoing dispute over that land, whether it belongs to the country of Israel or to the country of Palestine, and that dispute may never end. But if you go just a bit north of Israel and Palestine, you get to Turkey, which has been a very much westernized country, but it was westernized. The Turkish people come from east of there. And so pretty much from that line, east is the East, and Russia is also on the border there. It's considered Eastern by the rest of Europe, but it is considered Western by the rest of Asia. So it's right there on the border. Same thing with Turkey. It is considered European by many of those in the greater Middle East, but it is also considered Asian by most of those in Europe. So if you don't quite belong, then you're actually maybe a member of both groups that maybe accept or reject you depending on the day. All right, new section, Fit for a Queen. The 1786 Affair of the Diamond Necklace was pure soap opera, involving a queen, a cardinal, a con artist, and a prostitute. The necklace in question had been ordered by the previous king of France, Louis XV, who lived from 1710 to 1774, and he was officially king for most of that time. He was the great-grandson of the previous king, and both Louis XV's father and grandfather had passed away before his great-grandfather, Louis XIV, passed away. Now, it had been ordered by that king for his mistress, but it had never been delivered or paid for. The fall guy in the affair was the lecherous cleric, the Cardinal de Rohan, whom the con artist, the Countess of La Motte, persuaded to obtain the fabulous necklace for Queen Marie Antoinette, who was impersonated by a prostitute. When the jewelers demanded payment, nobody would demand pavement, but they demanded payment, the queen denied all knowledge of the affair, and the plot was exposed. Rohan was cleared, but he was disgraced. La Motte was imprisoned. She was the con artist, so she deserved to be imprisoned. However, she escaped. And even though she was innocent, had no idea what was going on, Queen Marie Antoinette found that her reputation had been fatally compromised. Again, as an aside, I'll just add that it doesn't have to be true about you to ruin your reputation. So you have to be careful what you say about other people, because you may ruin them without a single word that is believed by people to be true about them. And this is very unfortunate, but it is part of the human condition for the last 10,000 years, ever since words could be written down and spread around. Back to the book. The affair was one of the many scandals that precipitated the downfall of the French monarchy in the Revolution of 1789. A new section. A diamond as big as the Ritz. Late one afternoon in January 1905, a miner unearthed a large crystal in the rock wall of the premier diamond mine in South Africa. The crystal was so large that when he first saw it, the mine superintendent Frederick Wells thought it was a worthless piece of glass, just natural glass. However, upon closer inspection, it turned out to be the largest gem-quality diamond ever found. It weighed a spectacular 621 grams, more than 1 pound, and it had a mass of 3,100 and some odd carats. And a carat is a way of measuring the gemstone's weight. The owner of the mine, Sir Thomas Cullinan, happened to be visiting that day, and the extraordinary find was named after him. Although not quite the mountain-sized diamond imagined by F. Scott Fitzgerald in his 1922 novella, The Diamond as Big as the Ritz, the Cullinan was a diamond, beyond price. The mine sold it to the government of the Transvaal. This is back in 1905, so before South Africa was united. And that government in turn presented it to its colonial master, the British King Edward VII. In order to foil thieves who might try to steal that gem, the Cullinan diamond, while it was being transported to England, a heavily guarded fake diamond was sent by ship, while the real stone was dispatched to the king by registered mail. Once safely in Edward's hands, the rough gem had to be cleaved, cut, and polished. He entrusted the delicate task to the Asher Diamond Company of Amsterdam, and the Dutch definitely know their diamonds. If you haven't seen the James Bond movie Diamonds Are Forever, you'll learn more about that tradition. Joseph Asher succeeded in cleaving the Cullinan in two on his second attempt, and further cuts yielded 9 major gems and a further 96 smaller stones. The massive 530-carat Cullinan I, or King Edward VII, is mounted on the British monarch's scepter, and the slightly smaller 317-carat Cullinan II is mounted on the band of the imperial state crown, used in the coronation of Britain's kings and queens. The Cullinan III to IX are variously mounted on crowns or worn as jewelry by Queen Elizabeth II. The Cullinan, while it produced the largest regal diamonds, is a very late addition to the gems worn by royalty. The 105-carat Koh-i-Noor, or Mountain of Light, was the world's largest diamond prior to the discovery of the Cullinan. It was mined in northern India for Hindu kings between the 11th and 13th centuries, so about the year 1100 or 1200. Those kings had it mounted as the eye of a goddess. When India fell to Muslim invaders from Central Asia, the gem became the property of the country's many Islamic dynasties, until they in turn succumbed to British power, and this was in the late 1700s to mid-1800s. In the mid-19th century, the British seized the stone as war booty and presented it, the Koh-i-Noor again I'm talking about here, not the Cullinan. They presented it to Queen Victoria, who was alive from 1819 to 1901, and she was King Edward's mother. Now legend has it that the stone, the Koh-i-Noor, is cursed and will destroy any male ruler who wears it. The curse, however, does not affect women, and the British have wisely mounted it in the crowns of their queens and queen consorts. Although diamonds have adorned the bodies of kings and nobles for centuries, the increase in diamond production in the 19th century and the rise in living standards in the 20th have made diamond jewelry accessible to a much greater proportion of the population. The first attestable use of a diamond engagement ring dates back to 15th century Europe. That seems like a long time ago, the 1400s. So we're 600 years later. But for thousands of years, diamond engagement rings were never done. Anyway, it went back then, and the custom only became widespread in the 1930s. So again, less than 100 years has been since engagement rings became diamonds. So if you want to give a different engagement ring than a diamond, then feel free. It's historically fine. Do not believe the diamond manufacturers that you must give a diamond. It's the only worthwhile stone. There are many, many beautiful stones besides diamonds. Today, the gold and diamond ring solitaire, symbolizing the strength and durability of the love bond, remains the most popular engagement token in the US and Europe. I gave my wife, she wasn't my wife yet, but I gave my wife a diamond solitaire ring, and I don't regret that. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You can choose any precious stone, anyway, to symbolize what's going on there. Alright, the last section of the diamond is coal under pressure. This gets more into the science of it, and not the impact of diamonds on society. For all its superlative qualities, a diamond, as Henry Kissinger correctly observed, is a chunk of coal that is made good under pressure. The chemical formula of diamond, which is just pure carbon, shows that it is composed of pure carbon. It's the chemical symbol C. C. But it is carbon on steroids, created deep below the surface of the Earth in the mantle, while subject to huge pressures. Volcanic eruptions of diamond-bearing rock bring diamonds to the surface where, over millions of years, erosion by wind and rain, the gemstones are dispersed over a wide area. Diamonds owe their hardness and translucency to their octahedral crystalline structure. So imagine two perfect pyramids stuck at their base to base. Although colorless diamonds are traditionally the most prized for jewelry, chemical impurities can give them different colors, the most common being yellow and brown. The rarest, blue, black, pink, and red. You may have heard of blue diamonds before. In recent years, the top auction prices for diamonds have been paid for blue and pink stones. The traditional unit of measure for diamonds is the carat, C-A-R-A-T, not C-A-R-R-O-T. It's a unit of mass equivalent to 0.2 grams, or 200 milligrams. The metric carat, which was adopted as the international standard in 1907, is subdivided into 100 points of 2 milligrams each. And here's a picture of some famous diamonds. Known for their hardness, diamonds could historically only be cut by other diamonds. But now they can be cut by lasers. The first guild of diamond cutters in Europe was formed in the 14th century, and Antwerp in Belgium, which is a country that is basically the parts of France and the Netherlands. They didn't want to be part of the France or Netherlands anymore because they were where France and the Netherlands fought all the time. So they're kind of a buffer state. Anyway, Antwerp remains the world center for diamond cutting. The process of producing a gem from a rough stone must ensure the retention of its maximum quality, its size, and its color. But once the stone has been cleaved or sawed along internal faults, again, those faults are like faults in the ground with earthquakes, not faults like it's a problem. It is bruted by grinding against another diamond to give it a rounded shape. The facets are then cut into the stone, giving it its final shape, and the gem is polished to full brilliance. Ancient stones such as the Koh-i-Noor that I talked about earlier could be less impressive because their original cut did not bring out their full luster. So in 1852, Prince Albert supervised the recutting of the Koh-i-Noor and reduced its size by over 40%, from 186 carats 205.602 carats. So although the stone's brilliance was greatly increased, Albert was disappointed by the result and had the stone mounted on a brooch for the Queen. Albert died not too long after that. A curse? The increase in supply of natural diamonds in the 19th century and the discovery of how to manufacture gem-quality synthetic and simulant diamonds in the 20th century have reduced the rarity, cost, and therefore the allure of the stone in the modern day. However, in 2011, astronomers discovered an extraterrestrial diamond large enough to satisfy even the most jaded of collectors. The remnants of a collapsed star 4,000 light-years away across the galaxy, this planet-sized diamond is 5 times the size of Earth. And that is where I will end the read aloud for today. The next one, number 2, will be copper. So from diamonds to copper. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you missed any, feel free to rewind and leave any comments on Google Classroom.